All right, good afternoon, good evening from wherever it is you're joining from. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of the Women Techsters Open Day. My name is Erolu Adetela and I would be your anchor for today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the May edition of the Women Techsters Open Day and we are thrilled and elated to have everyone on the call. If you are here and you know a friend of yours that you probably registered for this event together, and they're not here, you can just shoot them a message to let them know that the event has started here. So welcome everybody. We are glad all of our speakers are here on the call ready for you. You would see the webinar chat. That is what we'll be using to interact. That's what we'll be using to communicate. So please introduce yourself there. So I'd love to meet everyone on the call so far. Would love to meet everyone who signed up for this webinar. So just type your name, your country, what's something that you're looking forward to learning in this webinar, or something that crossed your mind when you decided to register for this webinar. So we'd look forward to just meeting everyone on the call. So I can see quite a number of people have joined. So we'll be using the webinar chat to just so you introduce yourself, your name, your country, that is where you're from, and what is something you'd love to learn, or what is something you'd love to get out of this webinar. So I can see Precious. Hi Precious, nice to meet you. Oh, I can see Elisete. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If I did not, I apologize. You're from Angola. How is Angola doing today? So I would like to meet us. I would like to hear from us what are things that you're expecting from today's session. I can see Bisola here. I can see Bisola saying, okay, Bisola from Nigeria. Hi, Bisola. Hi, Tim Tai from the UK. Interesting. How is the UK this afternoon? Hi, Theresa Aishong from Nigeria. Again, apologies if I mispronounced your name. I would like to, get to know some of our expectations for joining today's session. What's something that you want to go home with in today's session? What's something that, you'd love to learn about? What's something that, made you, when you saw this poster, you decided that, oh my God, I have to be here. I have to register for the Women Techsters Open Day May edition and I have to come here. I can see Precious saying that she's looking forward to learning more. Okay, before I quickly miss that, I can see Precious saying she's looking forward to learning more and how to diversify into the tech space as it pertains to the UI UX learning track. Interesting. So Precious, you would like to transition and become a product designer, right? And you'd want to understand more on how it pertains, right? Interesting. You are in the right place. So I can see Zena from Nigeria. Oh, I can see Hannah from Ethiopia. Hi, Anna. I can see Marita from Nigeria saying, I intend to navigate the tech space and how to get foreign software engineering jobs. I love that you added foreign there. Awesome, beautiful. I can see Lynn coming from Kenya. Hi, Lynn, one of our speakers is also from Kenya. Our moderator Chera is from Kenya. She's currently there now. I can see Rosalia from Mozambique. Hi, Rosalia. Nice to meet you. I can see Samira from Ghana. Oh, wow, interesting. Nina is currently in Ghana. Nice to meet you, Samira. So I would just like to learn again, you introduce yourself, your expectations for joining today's session. What's something you'd love to learn? What's something, you'd love to go home with at the end of this session? I can see Khadija from Mozambique saying, oh, hi, Khadija. Okay, you're currently doing your PhD in Rwanda. Interesting. Wow, that's interesting. So what's something that made you register for the Women Techsters Open Day, Khadija? Just let us know. I can see someone saying that she intends to gain insight into the latest technologies and best practices in the tech industry. Beautiful, beautiful, awesome, awesome. Thank you so very much, everyone. Just trying to see if there's anyone I missed. Okay. Oh, please forgive me. I feel like if I try to pronounce your name, I'm going to mispronounce it. Nkosam from South Africa. Pardon me if I mispronounced that. Oh yeah, third year IT student. Awesome, lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you. I can see Blessing saying that the hope to get to know more about project management in the area of technology. Okay, that's quite an interesting one. I can see Elsa from Nigeria saying I would love to know how the tech workspace functions, its challenges, inclusivity and potential. Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you all so very much for sharing. It's really lovely to meet you. Oh, hi, Asha from Tanzania. Awesome. So very lovely. Oh, Jane, wow, interesting. So Jane is a nurse who is trying to transition into technology. Beautiful. And that is why we have the Women Techsters platform. So the Women Techsters, the Women Techsters is an initiative of Tech for Dev, and the Women Techsters has the aim to bridge the gender gap in STEM between male and female. And we do this through advocacy and training programs. So under our advocacy components, we have programs such as the Tech Girls Drive and the Women Techsters Open Day, which is where we are on. So the Tech Girls Drive is Integral Drive is an on-site grassroots advocacy event that is geared towards young girls in secondary school ages 8 to 20. And like I said, it's a physical on-site event. And that means that we go to schools across Africa to speak to young girls about STEM, about the importance of it, about the career opportunities and prospects available for them. We typically do this in line with a United Nations celebration for the women and girls. For instance, in March during the International Women's Day, we had in line with our fellows, that's the Women Techsters fellows, we were able to champion Tech Girls Drive advocacy across multiple schools across the African countries where we are currently in reach. Yeah, so that's with the Tech Girls Drive. And then we have the Open Day, which is geared towards a wider audience, right? A wider audience of young girls ages 16 to 40, probably finishing secondary school in the university, just wanting to learn more about what technology is, about if I eventually want to transition into tech, how do I go about it? What are some of the key things I have to know? What are some of the challenges I may face? How do I even make the right decision? So what we do with the Open Day, as you see here, is that we invite seasoned guest speakers, amazing women who are, trailblazers already in tech here in Africa, to come and speak about their own tech journey so that you can learn from them, right? You can get to understand better about a particular field in tech that you're currently probably thinking about transitioning into. And of course, we have our training programs, the Women Techsters Bootcamp, the Women Techsters Fellowship, and the Women Techsters Masterclass. The Women Techsters Bootcamp is an experimental 3 weeks training. That is 2 weeks of intensive training and then 1 week of projects and demo day. And with the Women Techsters Bootcamp, you are sort of learning what the most basic things you would need to actually succeed in a particular field. And it's really, really interesting because it runs concurrently, right? We have application going out almost every month, right? If you follow us on social media, you definitely see a lot about this. And we've even had success stories of some of our beneficiaries who attend the Women Techsters and Bootcamp, and they're able to secure jobs just from our bootcamp and learning about cybersecurity, data science, and AI product design, product management, software development, and so many others. And of course, we have the Women Techsters Fellowship, which is a much more intensive program. It is a 1 year program divided into 6 months of training, and we have 6 months of mentoring and job placements. And we currently, well, the most beautiful thing is, our fellows in the program currently are rounding off the training phase. And it has been an amazing 6 months where they have been learning, across all the 8 learning tracks that we take. So that's with the Women Techsters Fellowship. And then we have the Women Techsters Masterclass, which is which is for more advanced audience. So that is for women who have had experience between 6 months or at least 5 years in technology, who want to learn about a particular field in tech, right? So go deep dive, typically runs for about 2 days. And then we've had master classes on blockchain, we've had master classes on product design and cybersecurity. So that is what we have with the Women Techsters initiative. We try to ensure that we reach as many young women and girls in Africa as we can. So I would just like to stop here and invite my colleague here on the call, Omalade, who will be taking the welcome address on behalf of our executive director, Oladire Oladapo, who is unavoidably absent. So I would pass the baton over to Omalade now. Hi, Omalade, over to you.
Hi, Aura. Thank you very much. Good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from everywhere that you're joining us. Just like my colleague Ori had mentioned, my name is Omoladila Dipo, and I'm a business manager at Tech for Dev. And as she had mentioned, I'll be representing our executive director, who is unavoidably absent for the Women Techsters Open Day, the May edition. So once again, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining the May edition of our virtual Women Techsters Open Day program. I'm super excited to see every wonderful woman from across Africa, Tanzania, Rwanda, Mozambique, South Africa, and Nigeria join us today to learn about how to pursue your interest in technology. I'd also especially like to also welcome everyone as prospective women techsters who have joined us today to learn about starting a career in tech through our Open Day program. In our usual style, or should I just say in Dura's usual style, right? I would quickly run us through some recent highlights from our Women Textiles program and Tech for Dev in general. In January 2024, we launched the second edition of Africa's largest digital skilling challenge called the Digital for All Challenge. This competition is designed to reward self development and encourage the acquisition and use of digital skills through competitive incentives. Our target on that program is to reach 2 million Nigerians with an opportunity for them to compete to win a share of the total prize of 150 million naira and other consolation prizes. The learning phase for this particular program started on 6th of February and is open to secondary school students, youths, and civil servants in Nigeria. To get more updates on this particular program, you can follow us on our social media page for constant updates. Last month, we admitted 1,919 beneficiaries into our Women Techsters Bootcamp code 3.4 after a rigorous screening process. In the last 3 weeks, these bootstars, as we fondly call them, have successfully completed the training phase, their demo day presentations and project work, and they are currently preparing for their graduation, which is coming up on 7th of June 2024. This amazing opportunity has been further extended to other women as we've opened our call for application for the next cohort of the Women Textiles Bootcamp 3.5, which is currently ongoing. This opportunity is open to African women interested in cybersecurity, data analysis, product design, product management, or software development. Basically, people that are looking to transition into tech, and the application is going to close on 2nd of June 2024. Since the inception of the Women Techstars Fellowship, we have recorded numerous success stories of women, mothers, daughters, wives, students, and workers who have defied the odds and paved the way for themselves in the ever evolving technology space. As such, last year, we opened the call for applications for the 2024 Women Techstars Fellowship, and we reached over 122,930 women across Africa. After careful reviewing 7,846 valid applications, we successfully admitted 2,014 women into the fellowship program. In the last 6 months, these fellows have preserved juggling life and the intensive Women Textiles Fellowship training phase, community projects, as well as their capstone projects. And as such, it is with great joy and pride that for us to announce that we have our virtual career week coming up on 3rd of June, on Monday to Friday, 7th of June. This event marks the culmination of the Women Textiles Fellowship 6 month training program, and it will feature over 1,500 graduates from our 22 African countries to reach, which are Nigeria, Ethiopia, Egypt, DR Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, Madagascar, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Algeria, South Sudan, Morocco, Angola, Mozambique, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Rwanda, Gambia, and Botswana. Women Techstars is made possible through our organization, Tech for Dev. And Tech for Dev, as we all know, is a non-profit organization that creates access to decent work and entrepreneurship opportunities and platforms for Africans through digital and technology skills empowerment and advocacy. Our vision at Tech for Dev is to equip Africans with digital and life skills that foster economic prosperity, financial freedom, and sustainable development. Women Techstars program is an initiative of Tech for Dev, and our goal is to bridge the digital divide between men and women in the tech ecosystem. Through our pilot program, Nigeria Women Techsters, we've enabled almost 3,000 women between the ages of 16 to 40 across Nigeria over a 3-year period to ignite interest in pursuing careers and businesses in technology. Driven by the success stories of numerous women from Nigerian Women Textiles program like Fatima, Tomi, Patience, among others, we carved a new ambition and dream to replicate this model across Africa. Hence why we have the Women Textiles program, providing more women access to opportunities to launch careers and businesses in technology. Our dream by 2030 is to reach 5 million women in Africa by empowering them with the knowledge and skills to partake in the technology industry in Africa and the world at large. We believe that empowering change for women across Africa, as well as providing them opportunities to access employment and entrepreneurship, would help achieve a 50-50 male to female ratio balance in the technology space. The Women Techstars Open Day, which we are currently on right now, is a monthly virtual program organized for women across Africa to learn about leveraging the power of technology to start and advance their careers and create technology and technology enabled businesses. The Open Day is an opportunity for women to interact with other successful and wonderful women who have built careers or businesses in technology over the years and who will share their personal experience, speak about possible career paths and business opportunities, and help women appreciate the importance of acquiring digital and deep tech skills in this digital age. I would like to appreciate everyone for being here today. Thank you so much once again for being here today to commence your journeys to becoming women in tech, and to say a very special thank you to our guest speakers, Faith, Nina, Rosemary, and our moderator, Chiara. I hope I pronounced that right. Chiara, for taking time out of their busy schedules to share stories on their journeys as women in tech. I look forward to a wonderful conversation today. And thank you once again, everyone, for joining. And over to you, Oreolua.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, Omalede, for that. While you were speaking, I see some people were able to join, and some people, I'll just quickly read out just a few. I can see Rama, who she's a pharmacy student from the University of Lagos. She's interested in transition into tech. Wow, that's quite interesting. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Ramat, for being here. Awesome. I know I also saw one I would just like to quickly. So I can see Happiness also saying that she would like to acquire tech skills to boost her career journey, and she's super glad to be here. Okay. I can see Christiana also. She's a student from the University of Ibadan, also in Nigeria, and she's currently interested in transitioning into tech. Beautiful. Just one last one. Okay, I can see Aisha. Aisha is from Kaduna, and she's a graduate of accountancy. Interesting. And she's interested in also transitioning into tech. That's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you also so much for being here. I'll just quickly play a video that sort of highlights some of the things that Omalade shared with us. So I just hope we should be able to see it now and
My name is Fatima Ahmed. I'm from Ilorin, Kwara State. I studied chemistry from the University of Ilorin, but now I'm a woman in tech. Getting a job in Nigeria is very difficult. After my national youth service program, I was at home for like 5 to 6 months, writing CVs, applying for jobs, and the highest I got was callbacks, which was very frustrating. I was talking to a friend about the difficulties of getting a job in Nigeria, and he was telling me about the opportunities in tech. Coincidentally, at that time, another friend of mine was telling me about how she went to the Nigerian Women Techsters program, where she learned how to code and build websites. Seeing what she could do, I was motivated to apply for the Nigerian Women Techsters program. The training was for 12 weeks. I learned technical skills, building websites, writing codes. I also learned soft skills, communicating effectively, working in teams. It made me more effective in what I do today. Coming for the training, I just felt that, okay, I'll just learn some new skills, then have to go back home to apply for other jobs. But during the training, I started getting a lot of job opportunities, and here I am today. I have a good job, and I am glad I took the bold step to come for the Nigerian Women Techsters training. I currently work as a technical support engineer at Tech Experts, where I provide cloud-based solutions. I want to use this opportunity to encourage other young women out there who are looking for jobs to empower themselves with tech skills and take advantage of opportunities like this.
With partners like Microsoft, we've been able to train over 2,475 women in coding and deep tech skills across 12 states in Nigeria. And all this training was done for free. Over the next 10 years, we will train 5 million women across Africa by 2030. And we're looking for partners who could join us on this journey.
All right, thank you. I'm pretty sure that we're able to see that. So I'll just like to hear, okay, I can see some people already clapping. I'd just like to see some reactions from that video. What was something that, really stood out for you as you watched that? Did that in any way, impact your decision to be here and some of the things that, you would like to learn going into tech? So I'll just look for 1, 2 responses and then we'll quickly move on to the next. I just want to be sure that we actually watched the video and you were able to get 1 or 2 things from it. I can see I think I saw someone clapping. Yes, okay, I can see Elizabeth saying that was really beautiful, awesome. Okay, thank you. We don't have so much time, so I'll quickly move on to the meat of the session. Yes. So we have all of our guest speakers on the call, and they are ready to share from the wealth of their knowledge. I'll quickly be introducing them to us by reading out their bios, and then we'll get to meet each of our guest speakers on the call. So I would start with Faith. Yes, Faith, one on the call, and then I'll quickly read her bio, and we can meet her. Faith Bond has an extensive business experience, which includes the following industries: energy and utilities, pharmaceutical services, facility management, telecommunications, financial services, aviation and aerospace, construction, education services, and mining. Faith delivers presentations at various conferences, both locally and internationally, ranging from hundreds to thousands of attendees. She has delivered conferences across the world, from Barcelona to Dubai to Morocco, South Africa, and of course, here where we are. In addition, from time to time, she collaborates with universities to deliver key modules on subjects pertaining to the energy sector, women in ICT, leadership and IT strategy, including cloud and digitalization. An example of this is the collaboration with the University of South Africa School of Business Leadership Program with Georgia University of Technology MBA students. She currently serves as the Chief Information Officer at a large energy and utility organization. She has held several executive positions over the past 15 years, generally fulfilling roles of group CIO position at multinational organizations and large corporates since 2015, and she has served as Chief Audit Executive at a state-owned company and Associate Director at a professional services multinational organization. She has served and is still serving on various boards. She holds an MSc in mathematics from the University of Johannesburg and an MBA from UINSA. She has attained a certified internal auditor certificate and has internationally recognized and accredited certifications in the field of project management, business continuity management, and computer science. Among Burn's vast achievements, the one true to her heart is her passion for the care and advancement of women and children. This has led her to become the co-founder and director of a nonprofit organization which aims to educate children from disadvantaged communities. In 2012, she co-founded a nonprofit women-focused organization, which at the time aimed at empowering professional women through education, networking, and mentorship. Hello, Faith. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm well, I'm very well, and thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And now to our next speaker, Nina. Nina Curley is a highly experienced professional who specializes in providing cybersecurity and IT risk-related services to diverse range of organizations across various sectors. These sectors include financial services, manufacturing, telecommunication, and information technology. With her extensive background, she has gained expertise in areas such as governance, risk and compliance, cloud security, infrastructure security, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, and the development of cybersecurity strategies. In addition to her practical knowledge, Nina has also shared her expertise by delivering presentations on cybersecurity and technology risks at numerous conferences and events. Prior to joining Deloitte Ghana, she worked in the EcoBank Burundi, where she worked in the IT department, supporting core and non-core banking applications. She was later reassigned to the audit department as an information systems auditor. Nina currently serves as an executive member for Women in Cybersecurity West Africa affiliate and board member of ISACA Accra chapter. She's currently the senior manager cyber risk Deloitte West Africa. Hello, Nina. How are you doing today?
Hi, and thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you so very much for being here with us. And of course, to our third speaker now, Rosemary. Rosemary Oladeji is an experienced product manager with a robust background in market research, product strategy, and project management. She possesses a proven track record of leading cross-functional teams to deliver high-quality products and enhance customer experiences. Rosemary is skilled at collaborating with business and engineering teams, defining product roadmaps, and managing product life cycles from conception to launch. She is proficient in agile methodologies, problem solving, and effective stakeholder communication. Rosemary has demonstrated success in driving product performance and achieving business goals in fast-paced environments. Hello, Rosemary. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for being here. And on to our wonderful speaker, Chiara. Chiara, please forgive me. I do not want to pronounce your surname for fear of butchering it, so please just forgive me. Chiara is a data scientist. Thank you. Chiara is a data scientist specializing in LLM solutions in the recruitment sector. Her career includes significant contributions to the European Commission's taxonomy of occupations and skills. Currently based in Kenya, Chiara innovates in the startup ecosystem, enhancing job matching processes with language models. She holds a BSc in economics and an MSc in public economics, actively engaging in the AI community leadership through the Nairobi AI Meetup and supports educational and welfare volunteering initiatives in Nairobi. Hello, Chiara. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. So yes, everyone, I can already see, comments about how awesome, all of our speakers are. And I'm pretty sure that you're in for it, right? So I would quickly hand over the baton now to Chiara, and then we can move into the fireside chat. Over to you, Chiara.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. And again, thanks for organizing this event. It looks amazing, so many people. And I'm very excited to learn more about our speakers as well, to hear their story. Also for me, being, junior to me, it's amazing to hear and to learn from people who are more experienced in the field. So maybe we can start with just a simple question, just understanding what is our jobs. So I thought maybe we can start with a simple round. We can start with Faith, as we started before. Just if you can describe for us, Faith, in simple words, what do you do? Thanks.
Simple words, a lot. So I'm responsible for information technology within the Eskom Group Holdings. And what that really means is I'm responsible for all the systems, applications, the databases, the networking, the data centers. I'm also responsible for information and cybersecurity. And we have about 42,000 users. We have a vast landscape, so I've got hundreds of applications that we support. and thousands of servers, virtual servers that we have in my sphere. Yeah, so that hopefully is as simple as possible.
Amazing. No, thank you so much. Thanks. Actually, I hope our listeners, our attendees understand the context. If you have questions, you can ask and we can go ahead. You name cybersecurity, so I think Nina can go next as a natural follow-up.
Okay, thank you. So I work with Deloitte and I'm in charge of cyber risk. So what we do, we normally advise clients how they can secure their environment if it comes to security. So we do assessment for them to make sure that they are secure both against the internal and external threats. And also we advise them the things that they need to put in place to make sure that even if they are attacked, they can be able to continue their operation. And we train people as well.
Amazing, amazing. Super important as well to keep things running. Thank you very much. Rosemary, would you like to go ahead as well?
Yeah, thank you very much. So for me, I'm responsible for building the product from the start to the finish. I mean, from conception to launch. And I'm also responsible for bridging the gap between different stakeholders in the organization.
Amazing, thanks. Rosemary, just to clarify, which type of products, if you can explain us.
Okay, so I have experience in both fintech and LTech. So at the moment, I am in the LTech space. So we build LTech related solutions, softwares for SaaS, B2Cs, B2Bs, etc.
Okay, thank you so much. Great, so now we have a bit of context of our speakers, and I think we can do one step behind and understand, okay, how did they get there? We can start just with education. How did you choose your studies? So, you know, when you start, it doesn't have to be only your university. It can be also, you know, courses along the way that made you who you are now in terms of education. Rosemary, you were last. Maybe you want to start and then we go back on the other circle.
Okay, so that's fine. My background is not a tech background. Yeah, I'm an art student, and for my master's is also in art related course. But for me, why I transitioned to tech, this kind of person that like solving problems. I like to hear people's opinion. I like to hear their, I mean, pinpoint. I like to analyze a lot of things, right? And get insight. So that's one of the skills that, you know, helped me to transition into tech. And with that skills, I was able to, you know, manage a lot of things.
Amazing. Actually, I think a lot of our attendees are trying to transition from other studies previously. So I think that maybe later we can go a bit more diving in. Nina. So Nina, if you want to tell us a bit about your education and how you chose your path.
Okay, thank you. So my background, I studied computer science. So the reason why I transitioned into cybersecurity, I think it was out of the project that I did when I was with IT department. So I started my career as an IT officer. So I think I was tasked to do an application, to develop an application that the bank can use in booking the book check and also do other function. I remember after developing that application, I was invited to do the presentation because per the internal policy, every application was subject to independent review before its deployment. So I did a presentation of that application that I developed. And to my surprise, there was a lot of issue that came out. And I couldn't believe because I was too confident that my application was too good. But guess what? 8% of those issues, they were security related. So this opened my eyes because it just confirmed that while I was developing that application, I did not really consider security. So I remember walking out of that room. I just went to take small walk. I was asking, is it possible that there are a lot of applications there that people are using and they are vulnerable to them and they are not able to know? So that's how the passion of to do my specialization in cybersecurity was born.
That's great. So it's really from practical issues, right? It's not just, it sounds nice. It's actually, I have to solve my problems here. Nice. And when you had to choose, so when you decided to choose cybersecurity, you were already working, right? You said. So
Yes.
were you combining with your work or did you take time for your studies?
So at that time, I was in IT as a IT department as IT officer. So there was opportunity to move into information system audit. So I took that opportunity and later I joined Deloitte. So when I joined Deloitte, so I joined as someone who specialized in IT risk, but there was also vacant for cybersecurity. I just quickly asked if I can transition from IT risk to cybersecurity. That is how I got where I am now.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks. Okay, Faith, maybe you want to tell us a bit about your studying journey and why did you choose that studies?
So I'm older than most of you, and so my journey looked a little different. So I grew up in the township, and I didn't have a lot of guidance, and it was a very long time ago. I knew that science subjects would would open up possibilities for different degrees if I wanted to have them. And initially I thought I would go and study medicine. Didn't. And when I got when I got to university, I didn't have any guidance and I'd never ever seen a computer before in my life. So when I went to register and to choose my subjects at university, I saw the subject that said computer science and it sounded interesting. So I'm in IT because computer science sounded interesting. And so that's how I chose
Amazing.
computer science.
Okay, I guess all of us. For me also, a big part was there were no girls, and I was quite annoyed by that, and I was like, let me take care. Nice, thank you so much. Okay, so maybe we can move right. So from the education part to the career part, if you can explain a bit how was it to start, to really start working and to move from just studies and just I don't know projects to actually having to get a job or just maybe you learn some things that actually you don't need in the workplace, and in the workplace you learn things that you should have studied before, if you had something like that. So Rosemary, yeah, please, you can start if you want.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, when I started, I didn't start as a product manager, right? But what I was doing at that point in time was a little bit related to product management, but it was not clearly defined that this is actually a product management role. And what I tried to do was, I tried to, sorry about that. I tried to, do my things differently. I, try to get resources. So we usually send reports to the banks, right? I was looking for a better way that the report can be sent. I started learning about Power BI and all of that. Then in the course of that, I was recommended that, well, it appears you can do your things differently. So I started, talking to some of the engineering team and to understand what they were doing at that point. While doing that, I was already, trying to research what does it mean to be a product manager and all of that. I enrolled in a course, a product management course, to know more about that. And when there was an opening in the office, it was a big opportunity for me and easy for me because I already had the trainings, I had the knowledge. So when I was interviewed, it was just like an easy peasy. So from there, I was able to transition to, product management. But along the line, there were difficulties, communicating to engineers. You need to know more about the technical terms, API backend. Everything was sounding like German language. But, as time goes on, with learning, research, and especially when you have somebody to look up to ask questions, the journey got better.
Amazing, thanks. So there have been challenges at the beginning to understand parts of the technical language, right? And maybe we can just like smaller question on this. How did you approach these challenges in this kind of context? So was it about asking to colleagues, asking to senior, or keeping looking for courses?
Okay. Practical terms.
Google.
Is the question for me?
Yes.
Okay. So practical terms, what I did is I always have a small jotter with me anywhere I go to, because I know I'm going to hear something I've never heard before, so I write it down, and sometimes I'll ask them, could you please explain what this means? You don't have to be shy about it, right? It's not going to kill you when you ask questions, and that was the first thing I took ownership of. So I ask questions. Then at my private time, I try to research, not necessarily a course this time. I try to research and try to know how it relates to what I'm doing. And subsequent conversation, I also try to use those terms. So I get used to it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm sure actually the attendees are very happy to hear about being humble, asking questions, writing down. Thanks for this. Nina, would you like to tell us about how you started working and all the questions that you had in mind, or how was it to actually enter the labor market from education?
How I started working? So as I mentioned, I started my career as IT officer. So I think I've already gave that background. So but
more about the experience. Was it difficult to look for a job? Did you have guidance or?
So I think when I joined my career, unfortunately, I didn't have like a role model to guide me. So I was more relying on research. Every time I face some challenge, I go and do some research, and also I consult. I'm someone who like consult. I believe that if you have a team, there will be always someone who knows what you are looking for. So I tried to join the community. I was like, okay, I'm now in technology. I'm now in cyber. So what can I do that can help me when I face with challenge? I remember discussing with one of my manager. So he just told me that there are a lot of community professional body that you can join. So I joined one of the community, which is ISACA. And through that, I was able to enlarge my network. I was able to meet various people who were already in the industry. So through that networking, so those people, they were the one who were guiding me. And they really helped me, because every time I face with issue, so I'll call them and they'll guide me, because they have been there before me. So they were the one who helped me every time I face challenge. And also in my team, so we work as a team. So we have that culture that no one knows everything. So every time you face issue, I consult. Regardless who you are, I don't care that you are my senior or junior, I always consult.
Amazing. It sounds so positive. The power of helping each other, right? Networking. That's great. Thank you so much. And for you, for learning to networking, would you think is something networking you had to learn, or something that was coming spontaneous for you? To look for the right group of people, did it take a lot of effort, or was actually easy once you started looking for people like you? Also for Nina.
Hi, Nina, did you hear that?
Maybe there is.
I don't think she did.
Maybe we can go next. we can go with Faith, and Nina
Okay,
has
so
some
I think
internet
can just
connection.
direct next question to Faith.
Yeah. Faith, so do you want to tell us about how you started working? How was the job search, and how was for you very beginning?
That for me? I was very blessed. I had a bursary from one of the big energy organizations in South Africa. And so when I started to work, I started working for them because you work your bursary off once you graduate. I started as an application developer. And what I found was, so at university, I learned computer science and maths was my second major. And I actually did a postgrad in maths and the master's in maths. But I found that at university, they taught me about databases. They taught me about networking. They taught me about programming, and even programming to an assembler level, etc. But what I did find is when I started to work is that as a programmer in the workplace, it was a little different to what I imagined. I imagined firstly that I was going to do these groundbreaking programs that do wonderful things. And my first couple of programs was around pre-printed stationery. That's the first thing. The second thing was that actually when I then started to work, they sent me on a different course, which taught me I used to be a COBOL programmer, which taught me to design programs and to code in COBOL. And what I then found was that was the gap for me in my career or in my studies. My studies didn't spend enough time teaching designing of programming. And I think the designing and the thinking part is actually the most critical part because you can learn any coding language. But design needs to be taught. Thinking about how to design a program to its optimal way, that needs to be taught. So that's how I started at the bottom. My first title was assistant programmer. That was my first title. And then I progressed throughout my career like that. I became a senior programmer, an analyst programmer, etc. And then I went into management. I went into business relationship management. And I did project management. And then after that, I became a CIO. I also did a little bit of auditing. So Nina, I took a detour and I became a certified internal auditor. And I also headed up an internal audit division for a few years. So my career has been, I've opened myself up to opportunities that don't necessarily look like common sense to other people, but it was fun to do, and in the end it actually helped me.
Quite a journey. Very nice. And I agree completely on the programming side, right? Because especially programming languages, you can learn so easily now. The point is understanding how to approach them, right? So I completely agree. I'm learning programming languages with ChatGPT sometimes, but the idea is, okay, how should I start using it? Amazing. And Faith, maybe starting again the round with you, I was wondering in terms of gender representation, if you felt represented, what was the gender balance in your workplace when you started and going along in your career?
So at university, I didn't, I was one of maybe 2 or 3 females, especially as we got to second and third year. The others all did different, they didn't do the hard sciences. When I got into the workspace, there were some females around on the junior levels. I felt that as I was rising through the ranks, that there were less and less females. And as I became an executive, I found that I would very often, and still to this day, very often be the only female in the room. And so it's I don't know what, I know what the barriers are, because I was going to say I don't know what the barriers are, but I know what some of the barriers are. But it's just really sad that even in 2024, that there are very few females. If you look at, I'm very active in our CIO community. And if you look at the CIO community in South Africa, there are very few female CIOs. There's more than what there was 10 years ago, but it's still not as representative as there are males. And with that comes a different ways of experiencing life. And what I mean by that is, I've heard comments from when I was much younger, when people wanted to hire me into teams. It was a different world. They would say things like, oh, but you're a woman, you're going to get married and you're going to have children. And so that might impact us. I've been an executive delivering a budget, my IT budget, my divisional budget. And I've heard comments like, oh, you remind me of my wife. You just want money. So, and then there's the subtleties, our tones are a little bit higher, our pitches are a little bit higher, our voices, and it's almost like sometimes when you speak, people don't hear, and because of your tone. And so I've done some voice training. I've learned to be heard, because I've understood that it's my responsibility to be heard. It's my responsibility to carry that message and to be heard. So I often repeat things that I say so that I can be heard, even to this, in this world we live in now. I often say things differently. So I'll tell a story this way, an analogy that way, or sometimes a little bit more of a scientific way, the same thing. So I often say it many times before it's heard. And I often have to quite push through to say, but wait a minute, I said this and this is my opinion. So it's still there for women. But the good news is that a lot of men are aware of it. A lot of men have female children, and so they're very aware of the world. And so there are a lot of men that actually support women. We just have to find ways of supporting each other as well.
Incredible. Big story also with the speech. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Nina, would you also like to share something about gender balance for you in your experience, and how did you go with it?
So when I started my career in the IT department, we were only 2 female out of 15 staff in IT. But just to take you back, during my university, after I completed the high school, I remember we went to do some inquiry about the courses that I wanted to do at university. And they just give me a list of courses, and I saw computer science. I just say, okay. I asked the person that, how many people have they applied for computer science? The guy just told me that 30. I say, okay, out of 30, how many female? The guy was like, what do you want to know? I said, oh, by curiosity, I just want to know. He said, oh, 3 female, but it's normal because this is a man-dominated field. I was agitated. I said, really? I said, okay. So only that answer just pushed me to enter and take a field. So when we started the career, as I mentioned, we were just 2 female. So I remember I was in charge of application and also I was assisting also the head of networking. So every time you go for meetings and you see that a lot of opportunity were given to men. So I remember asking, why every time that there is important project, you prefer putting men instead of being female, even though we are few, we are just 2, we believe we can do what others are doing. So I remember what the director was like, yes, Nina, yes, we know you can, but you see, you are female, there's a certain energy that we are not getting from female. I said, what kind of energy are you talking here? Was like, no, we can't push you as you are pushing the boys. I said, no, you should not do that discrimination. So you should give us all equal opportunity. Because we found ourselves here and we did the same choice. So if it's come to it, so you cannot say that because I'm Nina, there's certain thing that I can. So this thing just pushed me to show that, yes, I can do even better, because I believe in the saying that say, what men can do, women can do better. So I was holding on that saying, and believe what, there was even award of the best IT staff. I was the one. So I worked in that director and said, wow, you see, we can do it. But the more we rise, I noticed that there were few female at the top. So I don't know that. I think there's a lot of opportunity at the top, but female, we need to be heard. We need to show that we can do what others see that we cannot do. So that is how my journey went. But fortunately now in Deloitte, we have this agenda that we are pushing also diversity. So now I'm found in a space where we have like 60% of our staff in cyber unit, they are female.
This is great stuff. And fantastic story. I can see the chat here burning on fire for both stories. So nice to hear. And Rosemary, maybe you want to share something as well with us?
Yeah, I think I agree with what Nina and Faith have said, right? Currently, most organizations, the people at the top, they are mostly male. You see few females there, and that brings me back to my first female line manager, and she came in as a group head. I was very happy, excited, like, wow, this person, she's a woman. If she can do it, I can also do it. Then there was one time I saw a post on Instagram. I mean, it was about these female CEOs in different banks. I was like, wow, these are women, they are even married, they have kids, they have responsibilities. If they can do it, why not? Why can't I do it? So the opportunity is there. It's just for us to grab that opportunity, hone it, like your life depends on it. And I'm very sure in a matter of time, you get there.
Very nice. Thank you so much. And I think a topic we haven't touched properly so far is about having success in your career, which I think sometimes is, I hear a lot of adjectives that give a gender to success, or that connect, gender characteristics to being successful. And maybe if you can walk us through what does it mean to be successful in your career, so in your job, and how do you feel? Like, do you feel successful yourself, and why? What makes you feel successful and proud of yourself, of your achievements? We can start from the beginning. Maybe Faith, you would like to go first.
Sure, thank you. So I have principles by which I live by. And I think that the principles are important. So I have principles and I've got tools. So let me talk a little bit about the principles. So the principles that I've been using in my career, and I wish I knew this when I was younger, is the first is I've got a strategic approach to it. So what I mean by that is I stay true to the core of who I am. So I don't try to be like my colleague or like a man, but I stay true to who I am, because I have been created in the way that I've been created for a purpose. And so I need to stay true to who I am, then I can give the best of me. So that's the first thing. The second is I'm purpose driven. So I understand my purpose, and I align what I do to my purpose. And so if I can break down my purpose for you quickly, because I know sometimes when you use the word purpose, people wonder what that is and how do you get there. My purpose, I believe, is that I have the ability to bring value to an organization or organizations or a community, where I take really complex problems, and I think it's my maths training, and I break it down and I solve those problems, and I put systemic solutions in place and sustainable solutions in place. And that's how I bring my value. So I look at things and on whether it aligns to my purpose before I do anything. And those are the two strategic principles I live by. My operational principles I live by is I embrace learning. So I open myself up to learn always, all the time. The second thing I do is I've got a council of mentors. So I've got different mentors. As I grew older, they took on different roles, or they became different, or with different people. And I use them, and many of my mentors now that I'm older and at the level that I'm at are friends rather than mentors. And so it's a friendly conversation, but still it's conversations that helps me think through big decisions. And I normally go to them when I think of big decisions. For example, when I was in audit and I thought about coming back into IT, my mentors were the people, my council of mentors were the people I went to have that conversation. And then the last thing and the most important thing, especially for this community, is I was intentional about my career, very intentional. I would sit down and I used to work for Deloitte many years ago, and I would sit down and say, well, I want to achieve something, and this is what I want to achieve within the next 2 years, and these are the possible positions that there are in Deloitte, and this is maybe what I want to do at Deloitte. So I was quite intentional about it. Then in terms of the tools that I used to further myself or to push myself was, as I said, embracing learning. It was around my council of mentors, and it was around intentional careers, but also just opening myself up and getting myself and getting out of the way of myself. Many times, especially as women, we self-doubt. You suffer from imposter syndrome. You get appointed in a position and you think, oh, I don't have the skill. I don't even know what they were thinking of, or if people actually just knew who I was. So it's really important that we get out of the way of ourselves. And I had to purposefully get myself out of my own way in many instances and open myself up and not resist change, but open myself up to embracing change. And I just want to say, sorry, I know I've said a lot, but I just want to say one more thing about purpose. To come just really back to purpose. If there's anyone on the call that thinks that they don't know what their purpose is, that's okay. You don't need to know your purpose right now. What you can do is you can understand what are the things, a lot of you spoke about, there were things that was wrong that you wanted fixed. And that's how you got to where you were, right? So what are the things that you have such a passion for, that you feel, or that irritate you, that you feel you want to fix? Or what are the things that get you really passionate and excited and energetic about? And just try it. And you might find your purpose in trying it. But if you don't do anything, you'll never know. So while you're looking for your purpose, try. Try fixing something that you think is broken. Try doing something that you think is giving you energy. And in that process, you find your purpose. Thanks for that.
Fantastic words. Thank you so much. Nina, what about your career? How would you define success for you? And how would you think, do you feel proud of your career so far? Do you think you're successful? If you can tell us.
Thank you. I think I'll also align with it if it comes to success. Personally, I define success as being able to achieve your purpose. And you have to know your purpose. Even outside of my career, I believe that my purpose, I'm someone who like helping people. I'm someone who doesn't really like to see people suffer. So I had already that purpose, and in my career I was like, okay, I'm found also in this organization, this field, and I believe the purpose that I have should be the same also in my career. So I say, okay, as I know my purpose is to help people, how can I use the work I'm doing to help people, to help organization, to make organization feel better? Because we are in the space of cybersecurity where people, organizations are suffering. So for me, success I will define if I'm be able to reduce that suffering in cybersecurity space. So to be able to help organization protect themselves, to be able organization to have an understanding of what is cybersecurity and how they can protect themselves. Because there's always this thing that makes me happy when I do work for organization and I give advice and later they'll come, oh, Nina, thank you. Your advice was able to help us to protect or to prevent some attack. I feel happy. I feel like I have made an impact. So I believe that for me, success is just to see that help organization and also help people outside. There are also some female or others who want to join this community. So as always, I set my goal that every year, at least, if God help me, I'll be able to help someone to join Sabbath. So I volunteer myself to mentor people, or if there's opportunity to, I send out people that apply, because I also feel happy when I see someone who has gone into career and will look back and say, Nina, thank you. There's such a pleasure to see someone saying, thank you because you have helped me. Because I believe also where we are, someone hold us our hand and help us. So my purpose in my career is to see cybersecurity space improving better, reduce the suffering that both organization and individual are going through, and to see young people coming with a lot of ideas to solve the problem that we are facing in cyberspace. That would be my success.
Amazing. Amazing. And I can hear this strong connection with how you started, right? With yourself facing the problems of security here is like blocking me from having a good application. And now you solving not only your, but also and many other people's problems. So that's really nice. Thanks. And actually in both talks, we also touched slightly upon mentoring mentees, and I think it's very nice topic. Maybe if we have enough time, we can touch later. But maybe Rosemary first, would you like also to tell us about your success story?
Okay, so I would say for every person, you should define your success. You don't be intimidated by what you see outside. Define what you call your own success. So in product management, before a product is launched, we have to, define what we want to say that this product is actually successful in the market. There are different metrics at which you can, use to define the success of a product. And that's what I personally apply to myself. So like what Faith mentioned, you can have a roadmap for yourself. This is what I want to achieve within a period of time. And you should try as much as possible to achieve it, but you don't have to kill yourself if you don't achieve it. So for me, every milestone that I take, every successful step, no matter how small it is, I celebrate myself. So in my career, I define my success as when my customers, my end users are happy with my products. They use my products seamlessly, they refer my products, and when you're taking surveys, you get to see feedbacks that will just make you blush that wow, is this me? Yeah. So those are some of the things that help me, and those are some of the things I look out for when you know measuring my success metrics. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And Rosemary, when you were first learning about the context where you work, did you have, so going back to the mentor and mentee, did you have a mentor in particular who helped you understanding what was success or what was the best way of doing things?
Yes, I do have a mentor. Like call it mentor, but I had somebody I was looking up to because she knew the product, she knew the process more than I do. So I was always on her neck to, get insights and learn more from her. So I could call her a mentor at that point in time because she's more better than me at that point in time. So I could talk to her and get insight. So having a mentor or somebody you can always call and ask questions, somebody that is within that your field of study, yeah, is very, very important. It cannot be overemphasized. It's very key to the success of your career, and it's very key to the success of whatever thing you are doing at that point in time.
Fantastic, thanks. And Nina, for you, did you have mentors in your career? And if you do, were they specific to the cybersecurity space or were they were more in the tech space in general? I don't know, did you have someone supporting you throughout your career or in a particular moment?
So when I started my career, I didn't have, but in the middle of my career, I had a mentor, someone who was mentoring me. So, and even that one, I reached out to the person. I told the person that this is what I want to do. So, and lucky for me, the person was willing to help me, was even willing to connect me to other people. So I think I'm here because there are people who have helped me, who has guided me. And also outside of that, there are also people that I follow, even though they don't know me. I follow them because I see the kind of thing that they have been able to do, the impact that they have been able to make on the society. So every time, for instance, there's someone called Dr. Eric. I think he used to be one of the cybersecurity advisor and President Obama. So he does a lot of like webinar. So every day I can tell you in the morning, I listen to him at least 10 minutes to 15. And this has helped me because he always share his experience. He always share the thing that people can do, even give guidance to those who want even to enter into cyber security space, and also those who want to be a later chief information security officer. So yes, I do have mentors, and I also do have virtual mentor that I follow. And I
That's
do
great.
more reading. I read a lot.
Nice. So information, right? Like staying up to date. I think also Faith was saying about keeping learning, being eager.
So
Nice.
I keep learning, yes. I open
Okay.
myself to any available information that I think can be beneficial to me and to where I want to reach.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks, Nina. Faith, would you like to share if you had any experience with a mentor? You worked in different sectors, so I wouldn't know if there was fixed to a specific part of your career or someone throughout.
So I've had various mentors. Like I said earlier, I have what I call a council of mentors. So I've got different mentors, and they're different genders, they're different races, because I believe that everyone brings a different perspective. So and as I grew through my career, some of those mentors changed. Many times, my mentors were the people whom I reported into. They were the people that became my mentors as I moved out. I do believe I know we're not talking about this right now, but for those of us who are contemplating being in a business or doing a job, etc., the leaving of a position to another company is as important as joining it. So I do believe in leaving in a manner that I don't leave relationships, I just leave the organization. And so that's how I was able to bring a lot of the people that I used to report into through as my mentors. There were people that I would meet in my networking space as my mentors. There were some of my clients that became my mentors. And they were female, they were male, and everybody has a different perspective. And when I really needed a big decision, I would go and speak to as many of them as I could to get an understanding. I also do mentor myself. But I do find that, if you're one person and you're mentoring, your capacity is very limited. You can't, you don't have the capacity to mentor a lot of women at a time. And so that is the saddest part of it. But that's why sessions like these are so important, because it can be a session where people can pick up some information and learn from each other. Like I said, we're always learning. I still learn from my children. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks. I think we have time for one last round. Do we have? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I think the best way to close the last round would be to ask, what would you recommend? What would be your words of of support? What would be your recommendations for someone who is starting their career in tech or who is moving from a different career towards tech? So if you can give your tips and tricks or just some words of support. Rosemary, would you like to start?
Yeah, so I would say transitioning to tech, it's a journey, right? And success does not happen overnight. I'm very sure every one of us on this call, one way or the other, we have our failure stories. Yeah, but you might not get to hear that. But what you hold yourself is to keep pushing, keep believing in yourself. I must say that you are your number one first fan before another person will be your fan, right? You have to believe in yourself, and you have to keep learning. The day you stop learning is the day you stop growing, right? You have to keep learning, and also you have to be intentional about your journey, about your growth. There will always not be time for you, but you just have to make out, you have to create that time to learn. It can be as short as maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Just make sure that you are learning something. And lastly, it's very important you have somebody you look up to, like a mentor, virtual, or somebody you can always, open up your problems to. And the person can truthfully guide you, advise you on every step you take. It's also important you have some certain soft skills like tenacity. It's, there's going to be turbulence, but then you just have to keep going. You have to be patient and throughout the journey. And I believe at the end of the day, you'll be happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Nina, would you like to go to take the mic?
Okay. So what I would advise that just try to be first of all yourself. Embrace who you are, regardless your weaknesses, and just accept that this is who I am. And also don't allow people opinion, people view to change who you are, to change your perception, to change your purpose. Once you have that strong belief in yourself, believe that there's nothing that I cannot do, because there are people there who has done what you want to do. Just try and consult people, reach out to people, because where you want to be, people are there, and they will even help you to avoid certain mistake that you can fall off because they have seen it. So just don't be afraid, don't be shy, speak out, reach out to people, get mentor, those that can help you, and also keep learning. And there's a process in your career, is a process. Don't want to start today and reach at the top after 1 month. No, it's a process. Be patient. So be prepared, because there's something bad to be put on the sand and you are not ready on that sand. So make sure that you pass through the process, and regardless whoever you meet, just keep asking and keep learning. I believe once you do that, you will embrace yourself. You have someone that you can reach out and join community. I believe you can be a successful in whatever you do. And don't allow people to tell you that you cannot do that, you can do. No, you can do everything. Just have that belief in yourself. And trust
So
in God
positive.
that God can help you.
So positive. Thank you so much, Nina. Faith, would you like to add on your side as well?
Sure, we are also very similarly aligned because the first thing I want to say is I want to echo the other panelists and say that you have everything inside of you. Like everything that you need is inside of you. And if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And so the other thing that I want you to say as well is that every interaction that you have is a possible interview. I've lived it. I've lived long enough to see this. I have had interactions where I've had an external client, I presented on some kind of matter, whether it was around infrastructure or whether it was around cybersecurity, but we have gone and done some presentations and delivered something. And a few months down the line, I would get a phone call asking me to join that organization. So every interaction is a possible interview. So we need to show up in our full presence and doing the best we can in every moment, because you don't know who's in the room who will call you for that next level. The other thing I also think of is that you need to be open to new ways of thinking, new ways of working, because if you are open to thinking differently, and if you are open to working differently, you open yourself up to possibilities that you wouldn't even have known existed before. And you find yourself in positions where you wouldn't have dreamed it yourself. Then always be just authentically you. Show up as you. Everybody else is taken. There was somebody who said that the best gift I can give you is a healthy me. And the best gift you can give me is a healthy you. So go through the world, giving the world the gift of you, not of a copy of somebody else, but of you. And if you're giving the world the gift of you, and if you're sincere to who you are, and if you're passionately driving your purpose, and you're dreaming on something, you can achieve it. I read a book a while ago, and it's called The Hidden Messages in Water. And there's a quote from the book that I want to just share with you. It says, "The life you live and the world you live in are up to you." And why I want to share the quote, and let me just tell you a little bit about that book. The book is about the hidden messages in water. And what the author says is that when water is sensitive to frequencies. And so when you speak positively to water and you then crystallize it, it makes beautiful crystals. If you don't speak positively to it and you speak negatively to it, it makes really ugly crystals. And if you ignore it, it makes even uglier crystals. And then the author goes on to say, our bodies are 70% water. So what you tell your body, it will become. What you tell yourself, you will become. So best we then tell ourselves how beautiful we are, whether you believe in God or a superior being, but how you've been created for this dream, and that you've got a dream inside of you that you can achieve. Because it's Henry Ford that said, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're probably right. So let's be right about the fact that we can, and that it's all inside of us. You don't need anything else. You just need you. You just need you and you to show up and be authentically you. And like everybody else, it's learn, be open, everything, but just be authentically you, because all you have is here. Thanks.
Really nice, thank you. How to turn into science the say good things at the mirror at yourself. Thank you. Okay, I think we can start the Q&A. So I can leave the mic and give the floor.
Yes, thank you so very much. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. I have to say, my notepad over here is full. I have been writing since. Because this was such an amazing session. I mean, ladies on the call, how has it been for you, like in the last 1 hour, just listening to our guests on the show? I'd love to hear from you. I want to see your interactions. I want to see, how was the session so far? How has it been? What's something that has really stood out for you? Thank you so very much, Nina. Thank you so very much, Rosemary. Thank you so very much, Faith. Thank you so very much, Shara. I mean, it has been such an amazing session. I have learned a lot, even just here, observing things. I have learned a lot. So many amazing words spoken, so many nuggets dropped. I can see, the chat just saying how that, it has really been amazing. I was just seeing some people talking about how reiterating some of the things that have been said about the importance of being authentic, about the importance of being yourself, standing up for yourself, and being able to speak, right? It's you that has to determine how your voice is going to be heard, right? And both Faith and Nina echoed that so many times. And just the words about how that if you can dream it, you can actually achieve it, right? The famous quote by Henry Ford that Faith quoted how that if you can or if you can't, right? Whichever one you think about it, you are right. So that just emphasizing the importance of how that there is a lot of intentionality that has to go on from your own end in ensuring that you can actually build your career. I can see Aisha saying it was really amazing to be part of this seminar. I can see Abimbola saying everything you need is in you, right? Right. So I can see someone saying the session has been so amazing. She has learned a lot. Nelly saying a lot to carry from this seminar. Yes, a lot to really, really carry. So we are currently now in the Q&A section. So if you have questions for any of our speakers, if you have questions for any of us, kindly put your question in Q&A so that it doesn't get lost in the webinar chat. Right. So if you have any question, probably maybe you want to transition into cybersecurity, you want to learn how Nina did it, you want to transition into product management, you want to learn how Rosemary did it. Shara, our wonderful moderator here, is a data scientist. You want to learn something about data. You want to learn something about being being an executive in the tech industry. We have everyone here on the call for you. So I know that I have one or two questions I would like to ask. But before that, if you are here, please put your questions in the Q&A segment so that it doesn't get lost. So I can see a question for Nina in the chat. So I'll quickly take that. We can use that to kickstart this session. So someone says, beautiful session, love the insightful tips from all the facilitators. Please, a question for Nina. As a cybersecurity specialist, what cybersecurity tool would you advise beginners to use that is beginner friendly and has an easy interface? So that's the question for Nina. I'll just quickly take it again. As a cybersecurity specialist, what cybersecurity tool would you advise beginners to use that is beginner friendly and has an easy user interface? Over to you, Nina.
Okay, thank you for the question. So there are various tools out, but depending on the field that you want to follow. For instance, if you are maybe want someone who want to be in penetration testing, so there is Kali, there is Nessus, there is Bootsuite. Those they are key tools that you can start using. But if you are someone who want to be like in governance, there are tools out, but a lot of tools, I think they are more commercial. They are not free tool that you can use if it's come to governance. So I think more tools that you see there, they are the tools that can help to do vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So you can try those three that I just mentioned.
All right, thank you so very much for that, Nina. I hope whoever asked that question was able to get the response. So I can see Edlin saying, when will we have the opportunity to share our experience from an Angolan woman in technology? Wonderful. Thank you so very much for that, Edlin. We'll be sure to look out for more women in Angola who are, making strides that can also come here and share their thoughts. So I can see some people have already put some questions. Please put your questions in the Q&A so that it don't get mixed in the chat. So there's a question here, and I think I would like to throw it to Faith to answer it for us. So Basi Ebon is saying, I have observed that most newbies in tech find it very easy because they're working in an organization. This way they have a platform that is good. For an entrepreneurial thinker and a self-employed woman in the health sector, how can she climb the tech growth ladder? Oh, as a product manager. So okay. So Rosemary is our product manager, but I know that Faith, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you must have had some experience with entrepreneurial, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I also know that you have quite an extensive experience. So if you could shed more light on this, then we can also have Rosemary share her thoughts. So this is a self-employed woman who wants to know how she can grow in tech. Over to you, Faith.
Thanks for that. I'll answer the story. I'll answer it by telling you a story. In one of my roles, there was a woman who started her own business, and she started her own business with 5,000 rand. And she started it with 5,000 rand and with a belief that she can do it. And what she did is she built up her business They were two, it was herself and her partner, each of them gave 5,000 Rand. So it was 10,000 Rand in total. They built up the business to such an extent over the years that they now have multi-million Rand contracts with large organizations. They have recently developed a hardware PCs that they build in here in South Africa. And they did it because they believed that they could. So to answer this, so that's the story. And I'm telling you the story, it's a real story. It's somebody I know and respect a lot. I'm telling you the story, one, to display that it is possible. Two, to say that in everything that that woman does is excellence. She used to be my service provider. She was my service provider at some organization. And how she and I met was there was a problem with her service. And I phoned her and I said, I don't want this person on my premises. He's done this, blah, blah, blah. It was a bad conversation. She handled it with professionalism. She did not make me as the client feel as though I was wrong. She didn't become defensive. She asked me all the right questions to gain all the information. And she dealt with it quickly, effectively, and kept me informed throughout the process. So if you're running your own business, it is to always be that service provider for that person that they feel that they can call to because you would have the answers. They feel that you are proactive and they feel that you've got their backs and that you think about their business even more than what they think about their business. When you give a client that, it builds your business very quickly. I hope that helps.
That was really beautiful. Thank you so very much for that, Faith. Hi Nina, just quickly, hi Nina, there's a question for you as to the tools you mentioned earlier. If you could please just put them in the chat, just so that someone can see them. Hi Rosemary, we would just love to hear your thoughts on the question. Would you like for me to take it again? Hi Rosemary, you seem to be muted. Okay, so pending when we have Rosemary back on the call, I can see another question. Okay. Hi Rosemary, are you back?
Oh, yes. I do know the question was for me.
Okay,
Can
yes.
you-
So there is an aspect of the question that touches on product management, which is why I decided to also bring it to you. So
Okay.
the question is about a woman in tech who is an entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneurial thinker, self-employed, right? And she's wondering how she can climb the tech growth ladder as a product manager.
Okay. So the first thing is you even need to understand what product management is all about, right? From the introduction given today, I believe Tech for Dev offer, various courses that can help you to transition into that. As no matter your background, right? And the good thing about product management is you don't have to be a science student or a tech person before you transition into that, right? But you can assess yourself and ask yourself some questions if you possess those skills, those soft skills, communication skills, analytics skills, stakeholder management, and etc. Then you can take it further by doing your research, reading. Then you can also take it further, enrolling in trainings that can give you more insight on how to transition. Yeah.
All right, thank you so very much for sharing that, Rosemary. Just quickly, while I still have you on, there's a question about how that, for someone who wants to start in product management, are there certain specific courses that they need to take, or what necessary steps do they have to take in beginning a career as a product manager?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, self-assessment is key first. As a product manager, you must be able to communicate well and communicate clearly for people to understand what you're saying. You must be patient and you must have a good negotiation skills. You don't necessarily have to, start off by worrying yourself about technical skills. You can start off with, I mean, soft skills. Then, when you get to practice, you can start learning the technical bit of it. But for me, learning first, enroll yourself in maybe a free course or a paid course that will give you more insight. Get a mentor that can mentor you as you grow in the journey.
All right, thank you so very much for that, Rosemary. I hope all those who had that question was able to get this. I can see some questions here for Chiara, so I will just quickly ask them. So Anne here says, "Hi Chiara, I'm a medic, but I'm interested in data science. I have been taking short courses. What is the easiest way of getting into the field?" And she's pretty confused because she feels like data science is wide, right? So, and just to quickly piggyback on that question, someone is asking here that this person has a background in mathematics and they are wondering how that's going to help them going into data science. They have no idea about tech, but they have a background in mathematics and they're wondering if that will be helpful going into data science. Hi, Chara, over to you.
Yeah, data science is wide, which is because data can be on anything. So the first person was someone in biomedical science, right? I think. So if so, I know about many people who actually work with machine learning models for biomedical data. My recommendation would be always to start with some field that you know. So if you know biomedical, go for that. If you know maths, go for that. And try to think at a small project that you would be interested in working. You know, a small side project. And then just try, okay, what is an issue I have there? Maybe something small that you can automate, some small game that you can create by yourself. And then, yeah, I mean, I code in Python, but even if you don't know how to code, there are learning classes that are for free, or ChatGPT, or other tools. There is Stack Overflow. There are many forums where you can learn. And so have a small goal in mind, a small project you would like to realize on a topic you understand, or you would understand the data. The main thing is you understand what the numbers mean, and then try to apply it. So I think this should answer both questions.
All right, yes, thank you so very much for that. I saw earlier that someone was asking about the book that Faith mentioned. So the title of the book is Hidden Messages in Water. The author is Masaru Emoto. So I just put that on the chat just so that we were able to see that. Okay. So hi Nina, back to you. There are some questions here for cybersecurity. And Marianne on the call is asking about how that she doesn't have a deep knowledge in cybersecurity, but she wants to know if it's possible to combine both cybersecurity and law, right? If I get the question right, she wants to be a cybersecurity lawyer. So is that a possibility? And so this question seems a bit broad, but I think Nina touched on it earlier about how that if someone wants to transition into cybersecurity, how would you just recommend they start from the scratch? Over to you, Nina.
Okay, thank you. So for someone who is doing law, I think this is even a great opportunity because this is a new area where they are even looking for people who have done law related to cybersecurity, because now there are going to be a lot of matters if you combine even the AI, artificial intelligence. You see that there are some cases that has required that people go and defend their AI, the algorithm that they use in the court. So now there's a lot of opportunity for people to do cybersecurity law. I think the person is in the good faith. He just have to see if he can also do the law pertaining to cybersecurity. There is such course. I don't know if I have answered the question. There's cybersecurity law, yeah.
Oh, wow, there is. Okay, so
Yes.
I hope Maria, you were able to hear that there is cybersecurity law. So probably that can help out. Okay, so hi Rosemary. I think I'll just quickly go back to you because I can see some questions for product here. So praise says great contributions. Okay, Faith says great contributions, love the insight. She's She would like to know how she can successfully transition into product management from a background in HR operations and communication. She has taken some courses with Pendo. She's currently taking some on Udemy. And she's also actively seeking opportunities in product management. However, most job opportunities always ask for at least 3 years of experience, and that's something she doesn't have currently. So how do you suggest she works around this for someone with a background in HR operations and communications? Over to you, Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary. Are you still with us? Did you get that?
Can I jump in while Rosemary
Yeah,
is?
please, over to you, Faith. I would love that.
I'm hearing the questions, and I'm going to be a little different, because I want to encourage you to not see the skills that you currently have as a barrier, but rather as something that adds you into doing it. And so, for example, if you're in HR and you want to get into data science, as an example, or you want to be a product manager, if you want to get into data science, to the point that Kiara was speaking about, is that the HR processes is a process that you could use for data science. So whatever our backgrounds, it always lends to where we're going with the technology. Artificial intelligence, data science, product management, it sits on top of disciplines like HR, finance, mathematics. In fact, mathematics, I've got a master's in maths, and today I'm a CIO, and I have a master's in maths. So maths teaches you to break down problems and to be analytical, and that is what we need in the space. So I want to encourage us to not see the skills that we've got now as something that's a barrier, but actually it's an advantage, because if you actually have process knowledge like HR knowledge, legal knowledge, etc., and you then put on top of that IT knowledge, I think it works well. I thought I'd throw that in while Rosemary was coming on.
Thank you so very much for that, Faith. That was definitely very, very insightful. I mean, it's something to think about, how that whatever background you have would definitely have an influence in whatever tech sector, tech career able to get into much later. So you can see it more like a building block, right? Something that would really, really help. So I can see some questions. I can see some questions here for data. So this is just something Faith also mentioned, but I don't know if Chera also has something to add. So the question here about that, is it a good idea to transition to data analytics? Okay, so this is a different question. It says, is it a good idea to transition into data analytics when I do not have a first degree in maths, statistics, or computer science? Hi, Chera.
Yeah, no fear. Just go for it. I mean, if there is a passion, if there is an interest, nothing blocks you. I mean, I studied economics and now I'm developing AI models. So, I mean, if you want to do it, go for it. It's just about effort, which I think our speakers were talking today about it. It's just, you have to put a lot of effort. You have to put your passion, but it's definitely possible. And I think now it's really easy with all the things that are available online. And again, maybe think about a mentor, someone to look after, or just to ask questions to, but definitely possible.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so very much for that, Chera. Hi, Rosemary. Just to be clear, are you here with us now?
Yeah, sorry, I had a network lag.
Oh, okay. All right then. So there was a question that Faith was helping us answer, but I just thought to bring it back in case you might have some other contributions. We have someone on the call, Praise, who has a background in HR operations and communications, and you're trying to transition into product management for it seems like many of the job opportunities that he keeps seeing asks for at least 3 years of experience, do you have any suggestions? And you're currently taking courses on Udemy and Pendo. So do you have any suggestions on how they can walk around this or how they can successfully transition from that kind of background?
Yeah. Thankfully, the person asking the question is an HR, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very good. So that means you know when there are opportunities in every department. So I think you can use your influence to speak to. I'm sure you would have product management department in your organization or where you work at the moment. You can speak to the HOD, tell them you want to do an internship with them. You want to learn, right? I think that's like the best route you can do. You are in the organization, so it's more easier for them to accept you. You can it might be a tough journey. You can juggle what you are doing at the moment and intern with them. So with that, you're able to get a real life experience that you can add to your CV that can, I mean, help you get that job. I mean, give you a better leverage in the market.
Okay, awesome. That was really, really straightforward. Thank you so very much for that, Rosemary. We're shortly run out of time, so I'll just try to do one more session, just one more question rather for everyone round. I saw a question about recording. Yes, the session is being recorded and the recording will be sent to everyone after the session today. So hi Nina, so there's a question about okay, I think we've answered this already. The cybersecurity tools. I saw that Nina has already posted them. So let me just quickly look one more time. So there is a question here for Rosemary, we have quite a number of people who want to get into product on the call. Yes, so let me see if I can merge this into these three into one. There's a question here about the most unexpected challenge you face in bringing a product to the market. And how did you navigate it to ensure the product success? And there's a question here about again a question here about transitioning, but from the banking sector, right? Has a science background from the banking sector. You know, how possible would it be to transition? I think we should just quickly take this too.
Okay, so unexpected challenge. I think I would say it's from the stakeholders. They can wake up and say that that thing needs to go live tomorrow. I already have a roadmap you are working with. You already have a timeline and all of that. So what I do most times, like I said, you need to really have a good negotiation skill and a good communication skill. You have to be clear. So what I do most times is I'll give you 100 reasons why that thing needs to, why we need to follow processes, why we need to go this way. And I'll also go further to tell you the risk if you still insist that you want to go that route. And most especially, put a disclaimer. If you insist that we should go this route, could you please sign this document? Most people don't eventually sign it because you are holding them, I mean, you are holding them responsible and accountable. So it's not going to be on you again. So that's what I do, and that's how I've been navigating my way. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult where both parties need to just adjust to meet, have the same common goal. And if you're thinking like a business person too, you just have to reason with them. Then secondly is you're moving from banking. How do you transition into tech? Is that correct?
Yes.
So, well, it all depends on what you're doing in the bank, right? So, I don't know what you're doing at the moment, but anything you're doing, the fact that you're working in bank safe is 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 tech, right? It's just you applying. Tech is like everyday activities. Tech is life. Let me just put it that way. So it doesn't have to be cybersecurity. It doesn't have to be product management or before you know that you're doing tech. So look at what you're doing and try to think outside the box. What can you do? What recommendation? Try to go outside your job description that can give you recognition to go into that thing that you actually want to do, because by that time they'll see the passion, they'll see that you want to work, they'll see that you have something to offer, most organizations are looking for value. If you're able to provide value, no matter what you are doing, they would help you to achieve that because they know that it's a win-win for both of you.
All right, thank you so very much for that, Rosemary. Last question on product management. There's a question here about the difference between project and product management. Hannah says she has done about 4 courses in project management. She's worried it doesn't have prospects in Nigeria. That's quite interesting, Anna. So if you could just highlight the differences for us, Rosemary.
Okay, so there's a clear difference between product and project. For a product manager, you have a life cycle for product management, but it doesn't end there. Like, it's continuous. As long as that product is in market, you have to continue to monitor the growth, failures, and improve the product as long as it's still in the market until you retire that product. But for a project manager is more concerned about the start and end of a project. Once they are done with that project, they are done. They go on to another project. So that's like a major difference. For a product manager, it's a continuous journey. Like, you have to keep monitoring. But for a project manager, there's a project that you want to do. It's starting by January and it's ending by May, and that is it.
Okay, thank you so very much for that. I have some questions here that I think I would like to direct to Faith and also hear any thoughts that Nina would have on them. So the question here, and there are 2 that I'll just merge into one. Helen says, good afternoon or good day, everyone. Right. What advice would you give me? I'm a teacher presently and I want to get into tech, but I don't know what area to join. Oluchi has a similar question as to how that she knows she would want to go into tech, but she's a bit confused as to the exact area in tech to go into. Hi, Faith. Do you have any thoughts on that?
That's very interesting because there's so many areas in tech. So there's 2 ways to approach it. One way that you could approach it is depending on what why you want to get into tech. If you want to get into tech because you believe you're going to get better money, or you want to get a better job, or prospects, then probably you need to think about the areas that are in high demand right now, like cybersecurity, data science. Product management is also an area. You can go into those areas. If you're getting into tech because you want to learn something different and you want to do something new, then you need to ask yourself, what are the things that you like to do? Because there's the logical part of tech and there's a physical part of tech. So the physical part deals with being a computer technician, or deals with networking and infrastructure and data centers. That's the physical part. The logical part is the spaces like cybersecurity. It's the spaces like, but even cybersecurity, you've got physical and logical spaces, because you could actually physically set up a firewall, or you could actually administer one, right? So it really depends on where your interests lie. But this is what I do want to say. Again, I love stories, so I'm going to tell a quick story. So there's a story, a true story, and all the stories have been true stories. And years ago, I worked at Deloitte, and there was a lady at Deloitte that used to be a part-time cleaner. She cleaned toilets. And what she did, and I still know her, in fact, I bumped into her just a few weeks ago. So what she did is, as she was cleaning the part-time toilet, she really wanted to get into tech. And what she realized is, when the receptionist was gone during lunch or tea breaks, there was no one else to man the telephones. So she went to the boss there and asked him if she could man the telephones during the breaks. She did that so well that there was a position that became open, that was a stores assistant in IT. You know, in IT, you've also got the stores. So it's a stores assistant, and really all you needed was, she had a matric, etc., and you just needed that to get the job. She applied for the job and she got the job, remembering she wasn't even a permanent employee for this cleaning agency. She got the job, and what she did was she cleaned out stores, packed PCs, etc., etc. As she was doing that, she realized she wanted to get in because now she was exposed to PCs. She then went and did a MCSE and something else. I can't remember what the other certificate was that she did. And then she applied for the next position, which was a technician. That lady, she still works for Deloitte, and she became the person, at Deloitte, and Nina, you'll know this, you have rotation every year where you rotate the pieces out. She became the technical project manager of that rotation project, where thousands of computers are rotated out, purchasing new computers, going through the process of stress testing computers, running the actual program to make sure that all the consultants come in, they're handing their old PCs, the data is transferred onto the new PCs and back in. And she did this by starting cleaning a toilet, answering a phone, cleaning a store, and then becoming that project manager. So I'm sorry, I love to tell stories, but it's true stories.
Wow, thank you so very much for that. I mean, that was such an inspiring story, right? Oluchi herself is saying that's really, really inspiring. So I hope that was able to give some clarity. Hi, Nina, would you just like to say a few things to that? Probably maybe in about a minute or two. Hi, Nina, your mic is muted.
Okay, pardon me. So I didn't get your question very well.
Oh, okay. So the question is about someone who would like to transition into tech, but they are not sure what area of tech exactly they would like to get into.
Okay, for someone who wants to transition in tech, first of all, you have to ask yourself what area of tech. Maybe you may not have that passion, full visibility of what kind of different tech area that exists. But what is even your motive? What is your passion? Why do you want to transition into tech? So you need, first of all, to answer that question to yourself. So once you get that answer that I want to transition tech because A, B, C, D, okay? So you can now maybe consult people, because I can tell you that you don't need to have technical skills, and you don't need to have specific technical skills or even any skill to be able to transition in tech. So I'd first mention that the example that just gave us is very insightful. And also it relates to one of the stories also that we are facing here in Deloitte. There's someone who used just to save tea to our partners. So he used to come and see what we are doing. There is a part of where they are more like a tip of an anonymous, and they do more like internal audit. So he was like, he would really like to understand what we do in our department. So during lunchtime, you see that he will come be chatting with us and try to understand what we do. So he asked that he want to take some leave, like 1 month leave, and that 1 month leave, he want to come and work with us. So her boss gave her opportunity. So she came to just see what we do with as internal audit and the team that is in charge of internal audit. And they even have some specific tool that they do. So can you believe now that he has applied for internal audit, and as part of internal audit also, he's even learning how to do audit for technology, to understand technology. I think it's all starts with your passion. Okay? And you see that there is no barrier. There's nothing that can limit you. Regardless your background, you can still make it. Just approach people and be willing to learn and be patient.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for that, Nina. I mean, if there's anything you take from everything Nina has said, is the importance of, people in your success. Yeah. So the last questions are on data science for Chara. I think, Chara, you already answered one. Thank you so very much for that, because really saved us time. So I just made 2 questions left in one. Someone is asking about the difference between data analytics and data science, and between SQL, Tableau, and Power BI, which of this is more relevant for data analysis? Do they need to master all 3 or just focus on one? Last question.
Sure, I will go quickly. So for data analytics and data science, so it starts from the same. So it's both you're analyzing data, right? So it's you get a data set, or you create your own data set, and then you try to understand how one thing is connected to another one, if something affects some other things, right? So it's about relationship between numbers. Now data analytics can stop there, where you understand, okay, what's the average salary? Okay, what's the mean? What's like the highest salary for a person, the lowest salary? You get salaries of different countries, different people. You think, okay, in this job function, what's the mean? Or in this country, what happens? And so on, the distributions. Well, then, if you want to get into data science, it's a bit more complex. So that would be the next step. That's how I would distinguish it. So for example, you would go from, okay, I know what's the descriptive statistics on my data. I understand what does it say, but now I want to say, I don't know about this other country, for example, or I don't know about something more, and I would like to predict, or I would like to understand something that is more advanced compared to a simple analysis. So then it would go more into data science, predicting the salary of next year in average for the same role you have stored for the last 20 years. So something like that. And
Okay,
then
all right.
for the
Yeah,
tools,
the second question, yeah, the tools.
yeah. So for the tools, SQL is different compared to Tableau and Power BI. Tableau and Power BI are for visualization. You don't need to work in data to use them. You can be like a business analyst. You can be whoever, like just as long as, I don't know, you can get an Excel table, input it, and then they will give you visuals. Well, SQL can be a bit more tricky in the sense it's just more advanced. So SQL is a way of managing databases. So it's then a language that you would have to understand how to write to. Yeah, it's not a simple user face like Power BI when you just click. It's a bit more complex. So if you need to manage the databases, you can learn SQL. If you just need to visualize, you can use Tableau or Power BI or build your own as well. So it's free and you
I
learn
love
to do
that.
something. So,
All right, thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you to everyone on the call who has stayed with us thus far. Thank you to all our wonderful speakers. We're rapidly coming to the end of the May edition of the Women Techsters Open Day. I mean, it's been an awesome time. I just saw someone drop a question again to say that about the penetration tools. I think Nina already put this on the chat. Hi, Nina, if you could please just crave your indulgence one last time to kindly just put it one more time on the chat as to the cybersecurity tools for penetration and testing. Yes, so the last thing on our agenda today is pictures. Yes, I always like to say that this is an event, this is a session you come for, and it's good to actually go out there and speak about how that, oh, I've taken the first step towards building my career in tech. I attended the Women Techsters Open Day, right? And I was able to learn. I had Faith speak about this. I had Nina speak about it. I had Shara share this. I had Rosemary share this. Just speak about things that you've learned, speak about things that they are take homes for you, right? So if you'd like to take pictures with us, just raise your hand and I will quickly promote you to the panelists. Yes, and I think I saw a few questions about this. Someone asked about the Women Techsters Bootcamp. So the Women Techsters Bootcamp application is currently running. I mean, you've heard Nina speak a lot about cybersecurity. You've heard, Rosemary speak a lot about products, right? You've heard Faith share so many things about how to just start, right? You've heard Chiara speak a lot about, data science, right? Data analytics. The next thing for you to do right now is to apply to the Women Techsters Bootcamp. The Women Techsters Bootcamp application is currently ongoing, right? You can follow us on social media to get to know about that. I've just posted the link in the chat, so you can, just quickly highlight it and save it somewhere. I'm already promoting the people who want to take pictures with us to panelist session. Please, once you get into the panel session, kindly ensure that you turn your video on as we'll be taking pictures. I'm already promoting a few people to the panel session. Once you get into the panel session, please turn your video on so we'll be able to take pictures and then we'll call it a wrap. Yes, I've promoted quite a number of persons now. If I've promoted you and you've joined the panel session, please turn your video on so we can quickly take our pictures. Okay, I can take out the number of people who have already joined in. Awesome, 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 beautiful, beautiful. Love it, love it. Yes, okay. Thank you. Hi Malayo, are you ready for our pictures?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. So as our custom is here on the Women Techsters Open Day, when it's time to take pictures, we unmute and we shout Women in Tech. Right. So all you have to do is ensure your video is on, unmute, and say Women in Tech. Are we good to go? Okay, I'll take that. We're good to go. All right. So 3, 2, 1, everybody. Women in Tech.
Women in tech.
Women in tech.
Women in tech.
Awesome.
Tech.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Women
beautiful.
in
Let's do
tech.
that one
Women
more
in
time.
tech.
Awesome.
Women Tech.
Let's do that
Women
one more
in tech.
time just so that we are sure we're able to get all the pictures. So 3, 2, 1, one more time again. Women in Tech, everybody.
Women in tech.
In tech.
Women in tech.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all so very much once again for staying through till the end of the Women Techsters Open Day May edition. Thank you to all our amazing speakers for honoring our invite and for sharing such beautiful and amazing nuggets with us today. I mean, I know I learned a lot. I knew a lot of people on the call also learned a lot. Thank you, Chara, for moderating the session. It was so amazing. The questions you asked really beautifully structured. Thank you so very much, Nina, for the insight and all the things that you shared with us. I mean, quite a lot of potential, cybersecurity analysts on the call will be learning a lot. Thank you so very much, Rosemary, as well. You answered a lot of our questions. You shared a lot of insights that were really helpful to prospective product managers on the call. We're really grateful. And to Faith, oh my God, I am in awe of some of the things that you said. Thank you so very much for all the beautiful insights that you shared from your wealth of experience. It's a goodbye from this end. Thank you everyone once again for attending the Women Techsters Open Day. Apologies for going past our scheduled time. We'll release everyone now. We are good to go from this end. Thank you everybody and do have a
Bye.
wonderful
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
goodbye
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.